It's just that is stupid, in my opinion. I did want to mention the other thing with gold and silver. You've got the two markets. You've got the paper market, and you've got the physical market. And for years and years and years, the paper market uh, acted like the tail on a dog that wagged the dog. In other words, paper markets made pricing. They priced the market. The problem now, because with COMEX and with LBMA, you have buyers that are lining up to take physical off the exchanges. The problem is they can't print gold and they can't print silver. The only thing they can do is print contracts that, when all is said and done, they cannot perform, which makes them worth zero. All I'm getting at is the physical markets are taking over here.
Yeah. And we saw that happen a few weeks ago when we had this point of backwardation in silver. And now the gold spot market is getting awfully close to the futures price in gold as well.
Right. Yeah. Silver's still got slight backwardation. But I mean, all the lease levels, all the borrow rates, everything's elevated. It just reeks of a massive short squeeze.
And now, and you also have, I want to get your thoughts on this. You have Robinhood enabling short selling on their platform now. So you're effectively opening the floodgates for unlimited losses for the average retail investor who isn't, to be honest here, isn't really that knowledgeable and that savvy when it comes to investing to begin with. I mean, is this a sign of a bottom here or a top? Because I would think that, given the fact that the markets have been rather sluggish lately, and now they're introducing short selling, I mean, wouldn't this be a sign of a bottom here when it comes to the markets? What do you say?
I say it's the sign of end of empire.
Well, that's what we've been seeing lately is with Robinhood, and
it is what it
is. It's opened up gambling to everyone else.
Of an empire. Say again?
No. I mean, it's opened up the stock market akin to like some sort of gambling platform, like a casino. Let's say you've got like these predicted markets, these betting markets. I mean, it's all like it's like you said, Correct. It's end of empire.
But understand this: you're using the casino analogy. Understand this: the casino itself is bankrupting. So what you need to do is you need to cash your chips in now, get those chips out of the casino and out of chips. You got to convert your chips into something real, and that's basically you need to convert your fiat currencies to gold and silver, because the analogy of the casino being bankrupt, you've got sovereign treasuries all over the world that are upside down.
Now, there's many different roads to take when it comes to converting and allocating your capital into gold and silver. I know you're big into junk silver as a means, as kind of like a means to do so. Why is that? And I know you have some stuff that you want to talk about junk silver on. Why is junk silver?
Yeah, and this is
the way to go, in your opinion?
This is for non IRAs. In an IRA, you've got to do a product that's 99.9 pure. Junk silver. I've been an advocate of junk silver for the last 10 plus years now. It's the smallest denomination of silver. In other words, 14 dimes equals 1 ounce. I think it's $1.38 equals 1 ounce. So that gives you 14 transactions in a system down scenario. If you're going to barter, now you've got the smallest unit of silver. It's recognizable because everybody knows what a dime or quarter looks like. And as long as it says 1964 or earlier, you know it's 90% silver. It can't be counterfeited, because if somebody comes to you with a bright, shiny, brand new dime or quarter, it's probably fake, because junk circulated for years and years and years. It was in people's pockets. It should be scratched. It should be dirty. And on top of that, it is U.S. mint lineage coin. Now, the reason I wanted to talk today about junk is because the pricing on junk versus other forms of silver have temporarily collapsed. I think dealers are bidding $4 and $5 under spot if you go to sell it, and you can buy it at spot, maybe 25, 50 cents over spot. It's the cheapest form of silver available right now. The reason being, back in the late 70s and the early 80s, I'm not going to say it was the only means, but the primary means of Americans that wanted to buy silver, the junk silver, that was really all there was available for investors. So you had, I don't know, well, you've had years since then too, but you had 5 or 10 years there where people were accumulating silver. They saw the $50 peak. You had some buyers, of course, at that level or in the 40s, and they hung on for 20, 30 years plus. What's happened is a lot of that legacy silver, when the price got to $50, people started selling. People and large hoards have been sold. What's happened is the dealers don't want to hold all of that as inventory. So if they're bidding 5%, 7%, 9% under spot, they take that junk in, they send it to a refiner, they refine the silver out of it, and then they sell that silver on the spot market, and that's how they make their profit. The problem long term, now this is a short-term problem because refiners are backed up. Some refiners are even refusing to take more junk in. They're backed up. But once this backlog gets done, the discount will abate. It'll come back to spot or above spot. And going forward, there's way less junk silver left in existence because it got melted down. So if you're buying silver today and it's not an IRA account, it's foolish to not buy junk silver. It's the best form for an American to own, and it's the cheapest.
And so how do you tell if something is real silver versus not? I know there's different tests one can do, but is there like, how do you go about it?
Well, that's why I say junk is the easiest to tell. Because first off, you could drop a coin on a counter and it's going to sound way, way different than a current coin. You just hear a little thud as opposed to a ping with the silver coins. But as long as the coin says 1964 or earlier, all dimes, all quarters, all half dollars, all silver dollars I take that back on silver dollars, but dimes, quarters, and half dollars, they were 90% silver, 10% copper.
Do you think they'll come for silver like they did? Go ahead.
That's your way to tell whether it's real or not.
Right.
Is the date on the coin.
Easy peasy. But there's also, you can also buy silver forks and spoons and silverware.
Correct.
Plates.
Yeah,
and, things of that nature too. You can things you can just find at a yard sale.
Yeah, but how are you going to barter that? I mean, when the system goes down, if somebody comes to me with 1 ounce generic rounds or 10 ounce bars or 100 ounce bars, I mean, I don't really have the ability out in the field to test them. I mean, I rely basically when it gets sent into the wholesaler, they do the testing. So if it's not real, it'll be alerted right away. The most readily recognized form of silver that has proof positive that it's got 90% silver in it is junk silver. So for those of you who bought 100 ounce bars 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, because it was the cheapest form, It was the cheapest form because it's the poorest form. Your 100-ounce bars are not going to work for you when the system goes down.
What about during a great taking type of event where, you're not really dealing with a Mad Max scenario, but you're more so dealing with like a dystopian tyranny, let's say, of overreach of government? Will they come after our silver like they came after our gold back in the early 1900s?
Well, they didn't ever come after our gold. I mean, I think there was a dozen people got fined or had jail time. There was no door-to-door knocking. There will never be door-to-door knocking. Can you imagine how many deaths there would be the first day if you had federal agents going house to house? Give me your gold, give me your silver. I mean, there wouldn't be out in rural areas, there would not even be a discussion. There'd be a gunshot, the door would close, and that would be that. I do want to mention, you said about the great taking takes place.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not a Mad Max scenario. I disagree with that entirely. As soon as the great taking starts to take over and people are realizing that they've lost everything, you're going to have absolute anarchy. And by definition, I mean, it's going to be a Mad Max world.
So you think all roads lead to Mad Max as opposed to like a dystopian?
I do.
Technocracy.
Well, yes, it's going to be dystopian. There's no question about it. But there is going to be a period of time, and I've said many times, I don't know whether it's going to be for 2 weeks, 2 months, 6 months. If we go more than 6 months, I mean that you're talking about a world that would make Mad Max the movie look like it's tame.
Oh, 90% of the population would just die off in 6 months. I mean, it's not just me just kind of saying this stuff out of nowhere, but there's been actual, studies and analyses on these. Like 6 months would kill 90% of the people out there.
Nobody knows how to hunt anymore. Nobody knows how to fish. Nobody knows how to provide for themselves.
And so what are some of the big takeaways one can have to arm themselves and prepare for, number one, a great taking, and then number two, the subsequent Mad Max that would come after it?
Well, you get your assets into a position where they can't be taken. If you own stocks, get the certificates. I mean, owning bonds is a fool's game because no matter what happens, the debt's going to go to zero anyway. I mean, you're not going to get paid back. But if you've got big, large bank balances, buy gold. That's out of the system. It can't be taken from you unless they come and take it from you. So your preparations is to get out of the system. That's one preparation. The other preparations are for your life. Do you have ability to have clean water? Do you have the ability to create electricity if the grid's down? Do you have food supplies? Do you have a way to protect your position? That's all survival stuff.